Hi everyone, welcome back. We are still at employment income. Now in the previous lesson I took the class of both F6 and P6. So I was using the F6 notes, although you was watching me as a P6 student as well do me the same lecture. Same stuff is already given to you in the lecture notes of P6 as well. I already mentioned in the previous lecture that you can simply follow the P6 notes. The same material is given to you in the P6 notes as well. So I thought instead of doing two separate lectures for both classes, why not do a single lecture where the both students can benefit, because the material is exactly the same. Both of the notes are made by myself, so both of the notes are exactly the same. Alright, now this additional lecture is for P6, so that's why we will be using the P6 notes as well for this lecture. Alright, although the previous lesson were for both F6 and P6 purposes, but I hope you have already studied the P6 notes for employment income. Now if you could please move to page number 15 of your lecture notes. It's still employment income, and we are going to do a small example. Basically this example was given in the middle of a basic benefits, so it is only examining the benefits from 1 to 14, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 1 to 13, and it is not examining any other further benefits. So it is just a basic example. I hope you can do yourself as well, but I will just do it this time so that you watch me do everything which is related to the some basic benefits. Although they are basic benefits, but they are very, very important for exam purposes. So that's why I've made a small example for that. All right. Now, if you're confident enough, you think you can do yourself, just pause the video and do it. Start doing now. Then watch me do this example, and then compare your answer to mine. So you will be appraising your performance by the time you are studying for your paper. All right. So in step-by-step approach. So you will be studying and you are appraising your performance at the same time as well. So it is always a better idea to do like that. Right. So if we read the question, in the requirement it says the calculate. I've already shared the screen with you now. I will have to cancel the shared screen when we do this question on the board, but although I have already shared it with you. So calculate the employment income for JAMS for tax year 17-18. So JAMS is the taxpayer. So on top it will be Mr. JAMS employment income, and for the tax year 17-18. JAMS has been employed at the annual salary of £48,000. Now I'm starting to read the question. Always read the requirement first, so your requirement will be in your mind and you will be reading the scenario. It will help you solve the question in a better way. JAMS has been employed at an annual salary of £48,000. The salary is £48,000 straight away during the tax year 17-18, and she received the following benefits as well. A diesel car with a list price of £25,000. So we need to calculate the car benefits. So list price is £25,000, diesel car. Why is this information given to me? So there will be additional 3%, as I said in the previous lecture as well. As part of the formula, there will be additional 3% for the diesel cars. Right now, list price is £25,000, but the employer did some bargaining with the supplier, and he got it for £23,500 at discount. So this information is only given to you to confuse yourself. However, you will use £25,000. Right? So £25,000 less any amount paid by the employee. JAMS made a capital contribution of £7,000. So JAMS himself paid £7,000 as well. So £25,000 less £7,000. Am I doing it right? No, the capital contribution by employee is restricted to £5,000 only. So we will take £5,000. Doesn't matter how much the employee has paid. At the time of purchase of the car was made available to JAMS for his private journeys as well. JAMS reimbursed his employer £50 per month for using the car privately. Whenever an employee is reimbursing something towards the private use of the car, that amount will be deducted out of the total benefit, total car benefit. Right? So this amount will be deducted. And after that, so it is £50 per month. So if the car is provided for whole year, like there is no information given for the specific months in this information, so we will assume that the car was for whole month, for whole year. So it will be £50 per month. 50 times 12, it's going to be £600 for whole year. for using the car privately, and £20 per month for the provision of the fuel. Although that £50 will be deducted, £50 reimbursement for the private use of the car will be deducted, but we cannot deduct the reimbursement towards the fuel. It will never be deducted. Alright, although we can deduct the reimbursement for the use of the car, but we cannot deduct any portion for the fuel, so we will not deduct this amount. Right, so that's how we will calculate the car benefit. On top of that, because the private fuel is provided, so we will calculate the fuel benefit as well. Now if you come to page number 13, it says number 8, benefit number 8 is the car, and benefit number 9 is fuel for car. So it will be 22,600 multiplied by percentage. So what percentage which you have calculated while calculating the benefit number 8, cars. So as part of the formula, whatever the percentage is going to be, we will use the same percentage in fuel for cars as well. Right, after that, where am I? Right, so what I meant to say is that we will calculate the fuel for car as well, as far as this question is concerned. And then after that, it says employer had provided James a computer laptop for his private use since 6th of April 2016, costing £250. So when it was first provided, laptop's cost was £250. So it was when it was first provided. On 5th of October 2017, James purchased the laptop from his employer for £60 when its market value was £100. So basically it is other asset which was provided. Asset is provided for use, we will take the market value of that asset multiplied by 20% as far as use is concerned. And if employee has purchased that asset as well, then we will calculate this. We will do the other calculation for purchase as well. So how to do the calculation for purchase? There are two different methods to do it, and we will take we will take whatever the higher of those two are. So what are those two ways to do it? One is when the asset was first provided, less amount already taxed and less amount paid by the employee. And the other one was when the employee bought that asset from the employer, market value at that price, market price at that time, less the amount paid by employee. So whatever is higher, we'll take that one. Right? So that was for purchase. However, for usage, we will only take 20% of that, 20% per annum. Right. So after that, it says James was also provided. Number 3. During 6th of April 2017 to 5th of December 2017, James traveled on his car for private. James traveled his own car. So when James was traveling in his own car, so his company was providing some fuel benefit. So what was that? His employer paid James 0.32 per mile for 14,000 miles traveled. So that is basically mileage allowance. So you will take how much he actually received, 0.32 multiplied by actual miles, less how much it is allowed. So how much is allowed? So up to 10,000 miles it's different, then over 10,000 miles it's different rate. Right? So we'll deduct out of that whatever the net amount, either it is going to be a benefit, employment benefit, or it is going to be a net deduction. Right, then after that it says that in number 4, on 5th of October 2017, James was provided with a cheap loan of £30,000 at 2% interest. James repaid £18,000 of loan on 5th of December 2017. The remaining loan was still outstanding at the year end. So it is basically beneficial loan which was provided less than official rate. Official rate of interest for our current tax year is 2.5%. And whereas in this case it was provided for 2%. Right, so we will have to see under the two matches. One is average method and the other is strict method, and we can choose lower of these two unless obviously, I mean, if the lower liabilities, lower tax liability is coming, lower taxable benefit is coming under the average method, so of course we're going to choose that one. And if it is the strict method which is giving me the lower tax benefits, I will choose that one. So whichever results in lower taxable benefit, lower employment benefit, I'm going to choose that one. Right? So that's it then. Let's do this example now. Now it's exactly the same the way I told you. So I will just do it on the board now. Just watch me do it now, please. So that's my beneficial loan. Mileage allowance is already in minus anyway. Right? Right. So that was this example. I will just quickly revise this for you. So first of all, I took the salary. So salary was given to me in the question. Then the car benefit. So we'll take the list price. Doesn't matter how much he actually gained for. We'll take the market price less the amount actually contributed by the employee. Employee although contributed more than £5,000, but we can maximum deduct the £5,000 out of it. Multiply by 18%. This is a standard percentage because the car emits more than 95 grams, so we'll take 18%. So if it is less than 95 grams, it will be different. The percentage will be given to you in the percentage is given to you in the lecture notes, although this percentage and this formula will not be given to you in the exam. So this 18% is the standard part of the formula, plus 129 grams per kilometer. This is given to you in the question. Less 95 is part of the formula divided by 5. It is also part of the formula. Plus 3% is we will only write it down if it is a diesel car. So if we apply that, that is £20,000 multiplied by 18 this one, and if we do this calculation, 6 plus 3 that diesel one, so it is 27%. If we take 27% of £20,000, whatever the amount is coming here, we've written it as X, so this amount will go here. Then fuel for car, the same percentage will apply, but this is the standard rate, 22,600. Doesn't matter which car is it, diesel or petrol, doesn't matter if it is emitting or not. Whenever the private fuel is provided, we will calculate the fuel for car, 22,600 multiplied by exact same percentage. Right, so fuel for car is also provided here. So whatever the figure is coming here, y I have written down here. Less paid towards the usage. If anything is paid towards the usage, we can deduct, although we cannot deduct the whatever is paid towards the fuel. Alright, so £50 was paid per month, so we'll multiply by 12, so we'll deduct this one out of this amount. Right, so this will be deducted. This amount is minus. Then paid towards the fuel, so of course we will not deduct anything out of it. Computer or laptop usage, so there will be two things for computer. One will be usage of the computer, another one will be purchase of the computer. Now usage of the computer is for some period. For 6 months is a usage, because after 6 months, if you read the question, after 6 months the laptop was actually purchased, right? So when it was of company, we will calculate usage. When it was purchased, we will do the purchase calculation, right? So there are two different calculations. So when we were using it, it is a standard 20% rate, whatever the market price is. Market price might be 20% per annum and into 6/12, because it was for 6 months. So it's going to be £25. And for purchase purposes, so we will do higher of A and B. So there are two calculations. We will take the higher of those two. What are those two calculations? We will take when it was first provided, less amount already taxed. So how can we calculate amount already taxed? Whatever the actual price is when it was first provided, multiplied with 20% annual rate, multiplied by how many months it has been since we was first provided this laptop. So it was provided for 1.5 years ago. If you see the question, it was provided for 1.5 years ago. So that's why I've written down 18/12, because it was provided 1.5 years ago. Or we can just do it 1.5. Multiply by 1.5 means 1.5 years. So we'll deduct that amount, and we will also deduct whatever the amount is actually paid, £60. So that is one. And the second method is we'll take the market value when we actually purchased as an employee, less amount paid. So whatever is higher out of these two, we will take that one. 115 is higher, so that's why I've took 115 here. Mileage allowance, actually mileage paid by the company is 0.32 multiplied by 14,000 miles. So So that is actually paid. However, this much is allowed for tax purposes. Up to 10,000 miles is 45 pence, and over 10,000 miles is 25 pence. So the total is going to be, the difference between these two is going to be in the negative 1020. If this figure is going to be positive, then it will be employment income, employment benefit. If it is going to be a negative income, it will be a deduction. So that's why this 1020 is going to be a deduction. Beneficial loan, there are two methods to calculate: average method and the strict methods. And we'll take lower of these two if the question is silent. If the question specifically says choose strict method, then we will choose this one. Or otherwise, say if it says average method, then we will choose that one. Average method, we will take highest loan during the year, which is going to be, of course, when we took the loan, it is going to be highest. And if we have paid something, in this question 18,000 was paid, so the remaining amount is going to be 12,000. So 12,000 was lowest loan in the year, divided by 2, that is part of the formula, multiplied the official rate of interest for P6 purposes for our current tax year. 2.75% is the official rate of interest, multiplied by 6/12, because this loan was provided for 6/12 for 6 months, not for whole year. So it was 288.75, less amount actually paid. So 30,000 pounds was the loan for 2 months. So it was 30,000 pounds for the 2 months from October to November, because in December he paid some payment. So it was only for 2 months, 30,000 pounds. 30,000 pounds multiplied by 2%, it was the interest which he was paying. It was less than official rate of interest, multiplied by 2/12, because it was for 2 months, so that's 100 pounds. For remaining 4 months, because total months were 6 months, for remaining 4 months from December up until March, it was remaining loan was 12,000 pounds. Rate of interest which they were paying was 2%, multiplied by 4/12, so that's amount how much actually she paid. So whatever the difference is, that is our average method. Now we also need to do the strict method as well. So according to the strict method, we will take 30,000 pounds multiplied by 2.75%, multiplied by 2/12, because for 2 months it was 30,000 pounds, and amount of interest which she was paying was 2.75%. So it's going to be 137.5. For 2 months it was 30,000 pounds, although after 2 months it was 12,000 pounds. So 12,000 multiplied by 2.75% into 4/12, because it was for 4 months. So we'll add these two and we will deduct actually paid. Actually paid will be exactly the same like we did in our average method, so we do not need to do it again. Right, so whatever is lowest of these two, because question does not tell us which one to choose, so we will stick to the lowest one, and in this case lowest one is 6750, and that is my beneficial loan. If I add all of these, it's going to be my employment income, including the benefits. Right? Right, so now after doing this example, if you could please move to, just give me 1 second, let me see which page number it is. Now if you could please move to page number 17 of your lecture notes. Let me also share the screen with you as well. Now on page number 17, if you move, let me just see. On page number 17, it says that benefit number 35, employee carrying a passenger in his own car. Although we have seen all of the benefits in our previous video, which was F6 video as well, but some of the benefits I thought I should do a little bit more clarification to you. Now this number 35, I think it is not provided in F6 notes, so it is new here. So employee carrying a passenger in his own car. Say for example, if you are going to a same place where your colleague works as well, and your colleague's house is on the way to office, so you are going on your own car. So when you're going on your own car, you pick your colleague as well. You are both going at the same place anyway, because you both work at the same place. So your colleague said, well, because you're going to office anyway, please pick me up. I'll give you £5 every day. Right? So it's up to 5 cents per passenger per mile is exempt, and if it is excess, it is going to be taxable. So your colleague said that please drop me there as well, please pick me daily, I'll give you 5 pence per mile, then that's fine. However, if it is more than that, then it is going to be taxable. Alright, so that is page number 35. Benefit number 35. Now if you look at benefit number 36, please, child care allowance, although we have seen it in our previous lecture that it is different for basic rate taxpayer, higher rate and the additional rate taxpayer, but how will we determine that if it is a higher rate, basic rate or the additional rate taxpayer? We only have to check with the salary. Please make sure you write it down if you want. For child care allowance, we will only check it with the salary. If the salary is less than, say for example, if the salary is £30,000, we know it is basic rate tax. If the salary is £50,000, we know it is in the higher rate band. Likewise, we do not have to consider all other benefits. We just have to look by the salary. If the salary is within the basic rate band, then we will apply £55, multiply by number of weeks, likewise, right? So these were the only things I think which needed more clarification. Now if you could please move to page number 19 of your lecture notes. On page number 19 you will see national insurance contributions. So taxes are basically of two types. One is normal tax, which we are studying as part of our P6 syllabus, and other one is a national insurance contribution. Now in the UK, government is collecting many types of taxes, one of which is national insurance contribution. So everybody is subject to national insurance contribution, depending that if they are doing the business or if they are employee or the employer. So the different kinds of rates. Government is collecting the tax and then they are spending on the benefits. So they are giving that money to the deserving people who cannot work or who are disabled or something like that. Excuse me. So they cannot work. So that's why the government will government will distribute that money towards the other people. Just bear with me 1 second while I drink some water. In the meantime, if you want to note down this question which I've written on the board, you can do so. Right. So now we are going to study excuse me. Now we're going to study NIC, National Insurance Contribution. Everybody in the UK who is working must have a national insurance number. So that is a specific number according to which your national insurance contribution is collected. All right. So what is national insurance contribution? There are different types of national insurance contribution taxes. One is for employee, other one is for employer, and in employer as well there are two types of national insurance contribution. One is on the salary and stuff like that, and other one is specifically for the benefits. And another one is for the self-employed only, right? So first one is class 1 employee. So this is paid by only employees. So if you are working for someone, then on your salary it will be paid. And now not only on the salary, but on the bonus and excess mileage allowance as well. Now what is excess mileage allowance? Now in this example which we just did on the board, he was not receiving excess mileage allowance. Company was paying less than it was allowed by tax. Now if the if the mileage would have been a positive figure, then it would be excess mileage allowance, and then it would also be subject to class 1 employee NIC. Right, so class 1 employee NIC is to be paid on the salary, bonus and excess mileage allowance. Then how to calculate it? From 1 to 8,164 you don't have to pay anything. From 8,164 it's up until 45,000 points, 12%, and like that. Now if you come to class 1 employer, now this is paid by the employer on the salary, bonus and excess mileage allowance, right? So from £1 to 8,164 you don't have to pay anything, and if you are exceeding that, then it's 13.8% only on the above amount, only on the excess. Now just beneath that it says employment allowance of £3,000. In the companies or as a boss, there might be different people working for you. There might be 10 people working for you. Now whatever your total national insurance contribution is as an employer, whatever your class 1 employer contribution is, out of that total you have to deduct £3,000 exemption. So that is allowed to the employers only. right? Out of the total amount of class 1 employer NIC, you can deduct £3,000. Even there is only one employee, you can still deduct. Even there are 10 employees, you can deduct this £3,000 out of the total national insurance contribution of employer. All right. Now after that, it's a class 1A. Now this class 1A is paid by the employer, but it is paid on the benefits only. All right. So if you're giving any benefits to your employee, like in this example which we just did, there were lots of benefits. So on the benefits there will be class 1A. And what is the rate of it? It is 13.8% of the amount of benefits. So it is a straight rate. Then it's class 2. Now class 2 is paid by the self-employed. If you're doing a business, then you will pay £2.85 per week. So it doesn't matter your earnings and stuff like that. However, there's some exemption. So it will be exempt if accounting profit not more than 6,025, or you receive state pension, then you do not have to pay this £2.85 per week. Right? After that is a class 4 national insurance contribution. It is also paid by self-employed people, but it is only paid on the taxable profits. If you do not have any profit, then you do not have to pay this class 4 NI. And rates are given to you from £1 to 8,164, nothing, and from then to £45,000 is 9%, and above that is 2%. But it is only paid on the annual profits. Right? Now just beneath that on the same page, elaboration of this stuff is given, which I've already explained to you. What is a class 1 employee and employer and all that. So I don't need to go into the detail of this. Right? Now after that, if you come to page number 20, there is a comprehensive example. Now just pause the video here and try and have a go at this example, and after that just resume it, and I will quickly go through this example. I won't do this example now because it is just an easy example. I don't need to go into the details of it. I will just quickly go through. Just pause the video if you want to do it, or just come back later, do this example yourself. It's easy example, it's not any technical thing in it. Just pause the video, and then when you resume this video and you play it, then I will just quickly go through it. Right then, calculate employment income for Asha for tax year 17-18. That is part A of the requirement. So we have to calculate employment income for Asha. So let's read the question. Asha has been employed at annual salary of £48,000 in 17-18 tax year and received the following benefits. So £48,000 is the salary, like exactly like in this question. So it will be £48,000 here in this question as well of Asha. After that, throughout tax year 17-18, van costing £34,000 was provided to Asha for business as well as for private use. So it is a van which was provided. There is an annual charge for van which will be added. Now let me see which benefit number it is. Just bear me 1 second while I check it. Benefit number 14. Benefit number 14, van and heavier commercial vehicles, 3,230 will go here. And then fuel for van is also provided, which is £610. £610. So in this question, number 2 is during the 17-18, Asha was provided with 2 mobile phones. Sorry, before I move to 2, number 1 is further says that in addition she was also provided fuel for private journeys. So fuel for van is also provided. So we'll write down van, then annual charge 3,000, whatever I've just told you, then 610 for fuel for van as well. That will be also provided. During the tax year 17-18, Asha was provided with the 2 mobile phones costing £200 each. One mobile phone is exempt, other one will be at the rate of 20%. So we'll take 20% of that. That will be our benefit. Employer also paid the mobile phone bill of £100 each. So first £100 will be exempt for the first phone. Second phones will be totally taxable, wholly taxable. So 100 will be taxable benefit. During the tax year 17-18, the employer paid childcare vouchers of £40 per week for 28 weeks. Now childcare vouchers will have to determine if it is a higher rate, basic rate, or the additional rate taxpayer. By looking at the salary, I can see that it is not a basic rate taxpayer. Its salary is more than 33,500, so it's a higher rate taxpayer. So you can deduct, you can calculate the childcare voucher. right? And after that, number 4 is during the tax year 17-18, employer also paid £1,000 for Asha's golf club membership. We have studied a rule number 42, I think it was, which was the last rule, final rule about the benefits. Let me just see if it is 42. Yeah, benefit number 42. If you go to page number 17, it's residual charge. Now, when you haven't studied any rule for anything which you see in the exam, then this residual charge will apply. It means whatever the cost to the employer is, that will be the taxable benefit. So in this case, for golf membership, we haven't studied any rule at all. So that's why the cost to the employer is £1,000. So the same amount will be taxable benefit. Right now, in the recent lecture, one of the students asked me about this golf club membership, that why don't you apply the rule number, just bear me 1 second, which one was that? It is, if you look at benefit number 25, please. If you come to page number 16, benefit number 25. Sporting and recreational facilities provided to employees and not to general public. Now the question which the student asked was that golf club membership, why won't you apply this rule number 25? So he meant that golf club membership comes under this rule of sporting and recreational facilities provided to employees and not to general public. It does not come under this rule, because read this rule number 25 clearly. Benefit number 25, it says sporting and recreational facilities provided to employees, not to general public. However, golf clubs are also provided to the general public, so it's not specially for the employees. Golf clubs are also provided to general public. However, there is a golf club specially for the employees built by a very big company. It is only for the employees. Then it will come under this rule, under this benefit, and it will be exempt. However, golf club membership, we haven't studied any rule, so rule number 42 will apply. So it will be wholly taxable. Right? Now, after that, Asha paid 10% of her basic salary in his occupational pension scheme, so it will be deduction, allowable deduction. So we have seen some allowable deductions, if you remember, and one of the allowable deduction was then when the payment of pension is made. Right? So I hope that you can do this example now. There isn't anything difficult in it. If you read the requirement number B of the same question, of the same example, calculate class 1 NIC to be paid by the Asha for tax year 17-18. So for Asha, she only have to pay on the salary, because she is not receiving any excess mileage allowance, or there isn't any bonus anyway. So her salary is £48,000. You can calculate her class 1 NI by looking at the tax rates, NI rates, which are given on the page number 19. Now these tax rates on page number 19, these will be given to you in the exam. This table will be given to you in the exam. They won't tell you any definitions what the class 1 employee and class 1 employer is. However, this table will be given to you in the exam. Right? So they won't elaborate that paid on the taxable profits and stuff like that. However, that table will be given to them. So you can calculate the class 1 NI for Asha for tax year 17-18. I hope you can do so. And in part C, if you see, it's asked to calculate NI to be paid by Asha's employer. Now employers, NI is going to be on the salary. If any benefits are given, they will be on that as well. There isn't any bonus anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. So calculate NI to be paid by the Asha's employer. So it's going to be class 1 employer, and it's also going to be class 1A if any benefits are given. Because in this example, I can see that mobile phones are given, and there are some benefits given, so there will be class 1B as well. Class 1A as well, because there are benefits. Also, do not forget to deduct the exemption of £3,000, which is allowed to the employer out of class 1 employer NIC. Alright, so there will be £3,000 exemption. Apart from that, there isn't anything else which is left and which needs attention. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video, and we will do remaining bits and pieces in our this chapter. Good luck and ta-da.